Hello everyone, Voss here. Welcome to my first ever review on video games. Today, I will be reviewing Remnant from the Ashes. At the time of this review, I have played over 30 hours of Remnant from the Ashes, and I am currently halfway through completing Nightmare Mode. This is going to be a long video, so I have a table of contents for you down below in the description. With that, let's get started. So what is Remnant from the Ashes? Remnant from the Ashes is a third-person shooter set in a post-apocalyptic world where humanity is sent on the brink of extinction due to hostile creatures known as the Root. You play as a human sent to the swirling tower in order to defeat the Root once and for all. Combat in Remnant from the Ashes is centered around guns. Melee is not a valuable main playstyle as melee only has a 4-hit combo where each of the attacks may be substituted with a power attack instead of regular attack. While they're strong enough to dispatch trash mobs, said attacks will leave you vulnerable for long periods of time. If you fail to kill or stagger the enemy, you will most likely take a hit and die on the harder difficulties. The control scheme in Remnant from the Ashes is very compact. Melee is bound to your fire key so that when you are not aiming down sight, you melee attack if you were to shoot, and if you do aim down sight, you instead will shoot. Overall, combat in Remnant from the Ashes feels very smooth and dynamic. When it comes to fighting bosses, I find it really enjoyable. My only complaint is that some bosses spawn endless amounts of trash mobs just to make the boss fight a little more difficult. But that's where melee comes in, as if trash mobs get too close, swing your weapons a few times, send them back, and shoot them in the face. There are two ways to become stronger in Remnant from the Ashes. One way is to collect and upgrade your weapons. The other way is leveling up and acquiring trait points. To collect weapons in Remnant from the Ashes, you either have to find them in secret locations, or kill bosses. Upgrading weapons in Remnant from the Ashes is pretty straightforward. All you need to do is collect resources and currency, which is scattered through the map. Traits in Remnant from the Ashes function as traditional level ups. You kill monsters, you get EXP, you level up. But the unique feature is that you do not start with all traits unlocked. You can unlock more traits by performing feats, defeating bosses, or meeting certain requirements. After each level up, you'll get one trait point which can be allocated to any of the traits you have, up to a maximum of level 20. Now at the time of this review, I am currently on my third playthrough. I found 13 of each primary, secondary, and melee weapons, and a total of 33 traits. I do not believe this is all of them, there are still bosses I have yet to face. After 30 hours, I am only level 194. There's still a lot more traits I have yet to max out, and with that, it would probably take me 100 hours to max out all the traits I currently have. In Remnant from the Ashes, you have 4 worlds to explore from. In each world, you have about 3 dungeons. Most of the dungeons will have a boss for you to fight. Other dungeons will have some kind of objective for you to clear. The unique thing about this is that each time you start a new playthrough, the dungeons in each world will change. Meaning in one playthrough you can fight one boss, and in a second playthrough you can fight an entirely different boss in the same location. In addition to that, most bosses in Remnant of the Ashes have alternate kill methods. For example, when fighting the Ent, if you focus your damage on the thighs and knees of the Ent, eventually you'll do enough damage to break its legs off. After that, the Ent will start crawling on the ground and no longer summon melee minions. Beating the boss in this form grants a melee weapon that you would not get by defeating the boss normally. There are also hidden areas and puzzles for you to solve in this game for extra traits, armor, weapons, or accessories. So far, I only have 2 gripes with Remnant from the Ashes. One is that sometimes when dodging, your dodge invulnerability window is inconsistent. Sometimes I will dodge through an attack near the end of my dodge perfectly fine. Other times, I would get hit midway through my dodge. This seems to only happen with AoE attacks, so whether or not this is a mechanic or a bug, I do not know. The other is a legitimate bug. It appears 1 in every 100 or 200 shots, an enemy would flinch from being shot, but take no damage, like so.
What?
There was also a bug during the VIP weekend where the final boss had a certain mechanic that did not function properly, resulting in a guaranteed death. But since then, I've beaten the boss a few more times, and it appears the bug has been fixed. Aside from that, there was also one instance where a boss was stuck in the ground, but that immediately fixed itself with the boss teleporting. All in all, Remnant from the Ashes feels like a well-polished game that deserves its $45 price tag, and at the time of the release, seems to be a well-polished game. There are no microtransactions in the game, and the developers have also promised that there would be no microtransactions at all in the future. To me, Remnant of the Ashes deserves an 8 out of 10 and is a prime example of what AAA games should be like. The game is not broken at the time of launch, does not lack content at the time of launch, and is not filled with microtransactions for a game that's priced at $45. If you were a fan of Dark Souls, or you like third-person shooters, games that you have to grind, or games with fun boss fights, I would recommend Remnant from the Ashes. Now that we're at the end of the video, it is time for the obligatory YouTube spiel. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. In the future, I'll be putting out more content relating to guides or video game reviews. If you'd also like to watch me play Remnant from the Ashes, here's my Twitch down below in the description. This is Voss, signing off.